Hello students, welcome to online computer class. I am Sharanaya, your computer teacher. So today I am here with the first lesson of computer. So before going to the first lesson, let us see what and all chapters we are going to study in this academic year. So first chapter is computer language, second more on Windows 7, third Microsoft PowerPoint, fourth slide organization, fifth applying formatting effects, sixth enlivening a presentation, seventh QBasic statements, eighth control statements, and ninth surfing internet. So these are the chapters we are going to study in this academic year. So today we will study about the computer language. So first lesson is computer language. So today we will study about the computer language. So what is language, children? What is language? Language is a medium to express our views and feelings. To communicate with a computer, we also need a language which it understands. So if you want to communicate with anyone, you need a language. Without language, you cannot communicate with anyone. So like that only, if you want to communicate with computer, we have different types of languages. So we have to study those languages, then only we can communicate with computer. So those languages we will study in this chapter. So before going to the computer language, let us see what is program. A program is a set of instructions which tells the computer what to do. So a program is a set of instructions which tells the computer what to do. So simply if you go and sit in front of the computer, then the computer will not work automatically. You have to give a set of instructions to the computer, then only it will work. You have to tell the computer what work has to be done. So when you tell the work, then only the computer will work. So what set of instructions you will give? For example, 2 plus 2 is equal to how much? If you give this set of instruction, then the computer will process that question and it will give the answer as 4. So this set of instructions you have to give. So that is called a program. The process of writing specific instructions in a computer language is called programming. Here, so who write that set of instruction? So they are called the programmers. The process of writing specific instructions in a computer language is called programming. The people who do this job are called the programmers. Who write the program, so they are called the programmers. So that set of instruction is called the programming. The set of instruction is called the programming, and who write that set of instruction, they are called the programmers. Understood, children? What is language, what is program, and who are the programmers? Right? Next we will study about the computer languages. So computer languages. How many types of computer languages are there, children? So we will see here how many types of computer languages are there. There are 4 different types of computer languages are there. What are those? First one, machine language, and second one is the assembly language. Third one is the high level language. Last and fourth one is the 4th generation language. So these are the 4 different types of languages are there. So we will study one by one in detail. So these are the languages that the computer can understand. If you want to communicate with the computer, we have to communicate in these 4 languages. So then only we can communicate with computer. Let us see all these 4 languages in detail. So first one is machine language. What is machine language, children? Now it is the only language that the computer understands. So the machine language is the only one language that the computer understands. It is expressed in binary forms. So the machine language is expressed in binary form, that is zeros and ones. 0 means off state and 1 means on state. Here the machine language is the only language that the computer understands. It is expressed in binary form, that is zeros and ones. 0 means off state and 1 means on state. Computer does not understand any other languages. It understands only the machine language, that is 0 and 1. Machine language has the advantage of very high speed and very low memory utilization. This machine language has an advantage of very high speed and very low memory utilization, and it is very fast also. But understanding and learning machine language is tough and time consuming process. If we want to understand, if you want to learn the machine language, that is very difficult to learn the machine language. We cannot learn machine language very easily. So machine language is very tough and time consuming process to learn by the users. The learning is extremely machine dependent. A machine language program is written on one computer may or may not run on another computer. That is why machine language is regarded as a low level language. So here the language is extremely machine dependent. This machine language is extremely machine dependent, and when you write a program in machine language, those programs may or may not run on the another computer. If you write a program in one computer, so those programs may or may not run on the another computer. Sometimes they may run on another computer, sometimes they may not run on the another computer. So that's why this machine language is also called the low level language. Understood, children? What is machine language? Now next we will move to the assembly language. What is assembly language? The language uses mnemonic codes or symbols. So the language which uses mnemonic codes or symbols in place of zeros and ones. In machine language, what we have used? In machine language we have used zeros and ones, but here in the assembly language we will use mnemonic codes or the symbols. Instead of remembering the exact memory location where data and instructions are stored, symbolic memory address are used for the data. Here in assembly language we cannot use the zeros and ones, but what we use here? We use symbols. For example, plus, minus, then dollar symbol, rupee symbol. These symbols we will use for the used in the machine language. A program written in assembly language is called source program. When you write a program in assembly language, that program is called the source program. When you write a program in assembly language, so that program is called the source program, and the program is converted into machine language by assembler is called the object program or the object code. So why we have to convert, children, this assembly language program into the machine language? Because the computer understands only the machine language. The computer cannot understand the assembly language also. Computer understands only the machine language. That's why we have to convert the assembly language programs into the machine language. So we have to convert. That converted program is called the object program or the object code. Assembly language is also machine dependent, and programming in this language is quite time consuming. Thus it is also regarded as a low level language. Here assembly language is also very difficult to learn and understand by the user. That's why it is also called a low level language. This assembly language is also called the low level language. Understood, children? This assembly language. What is assembly language? The assembly language programs are written in mnemonic codes or the symbols in place of zeros and ones. But in machine language we used zeros and ones, but in the assembly language we will not use zeros and ones. We will use mnemonic codes or the symbols. This is about the assembly language. Next we will move to the third one, high level language. What is high level language? The restriction in usage of machine and assembly language promoted people to develop language which should be simple and user friendly and machine independent. So this high level language is simple, user friendly and machine independent. This high level language is very easy to learn and understand by the users. So this high level language is very easy to learn and understand by the users, and it is also machine independent. High level language programs need to be translated to machine language by using translator programs. So the high level language programs, when you write a program in high level language, then those programs again are converted into the machine language by the translator programs. So computer does not understand this high level language also. Computer understands only which language, children? Yes, exactly, you are right. Computer understands only the machine language. So that's why the computer does not understand the high level language also. When you write a program in high level language, those programs are translated into the machine language by the translator programs. So there are two types of translator programs are there. So what are those two translator programs? Let us see one by one. So first one is the interpreter. So first translator program is interpreter. it translates the program line by line. So the interpreter translates the program line by line. When you write a program of 10 lines, it will translate line by line. That is it is converted one line at a time, execute the instruction and then repeat the procedure for the remaining instructions. So first it will execute first line. If no errors, then it will go for the next line. If found any errors, then it stops there only. Then you have to correct that error, then only it will go for the next line. So it will repeat the process until it reaches the end. In case if any errors are found, they are to be immediately removed. So if any errors are found in the program, then you have to remove those errors to execute the program. The converted form is not stored and where and has to be generated at the time of execution of the program. Interpreter programs are preferred for beginners and are slow in execution speed. So this interpreter is very slow in execution. So what is interpreter means? You have to tell interpreter translate the program line by line and its execution speed is very slow. These 2 points you have to remember, children. So interpreter is also one of the translator program. Next one, compiler. Compiler is also one of the translator program. It translates the whole program at once only. So the compiler translates the whole program at once only. If the program is of 10 line or 20 line, it will translate at a time. But the interpreter will convert the program line by line, not whole program at once only. But compiler translates the whole program at once only. It generates the object code for the program along with its errors. If any, the execution is very fast. So here, when the compiler executes the whole program at once only, if any errors are found, you have to find out the errors. But there in the interpreter, then when errors are found in which line, so there only it will stop. But here in the compiler, it will execute whole program at once only, and then later it will show the error. So where is the error, that you have to find out. So that's why this compiler is called the very fast compiling program, translator program, very fast translating program. Its execution speed is very fast. Here also you have to remember only 2 points, that is translator translate the whole program at once and its execution speed is very fast. So these are the translator programs. Next we will study about the 4th generation, that is last computer language, that is 4th generation language. So what is 4th generation language? See here now. Highly user friendly and independent for operating system. This 4th generation language is highly independent of operating system. Very high speed of execution. This 4th generation language speed is very high. Then reduce the level of programming efforts. It reduces the levels of the programmers efforts. And last point, minimum efforts from the users to obtain any information. So it requires minimum efforts from the user to obtain any information. So these are the 4th generation. This is the 4th generation language. So these are four types of languages we have studied. So using this only we can communicate with a computer. Next we will study about the types of computers. So how many types of computers are there, children? Yes, exactly, you are right. There are 4 different types of computers are there. So what are those 4 different types of computers? First one is a microcomputer, second one is mini computer, third one is mainframe computer, and 4th one is the supercomputers. So these are the 4 different types of computers are there. Let us see one by one. First one is microcomputer. So what is microcomputer? These computers are very small in size and cost is also less. Microcomputers are very small in size and their cost is also very less. They are usually designed for personal use. So these microcomputers are usually designed for the personal use. Therefore, they are called personal computers. Whatever computers we are using in our homes, so they are called the microcomputers or personal computers. They are mainly used in homes, schools and etc. So example for the microcomputer is IBM PC and Commodore 64. These are the examples for the microcomputers. What is microcomputer now? These computers are very small in size and cost is also very less. They are usually designed for personal use. Therefore, they are also called personal computers. They are mainly used in homes, schools, etc. Example for microcomputer is IBM PC. So these are the examples. Next, types of the computer is desktop and the laptop. So the type of the microcomputers are desktop and the laptop. So these are the two types of the microcomputers are there we use in our home. Desktop also we will use and laptop also we will use in our home. So second one. So the second computer is mini computer. So these computers are bigger in size than that of a microcomputers. So the mini computers are bigger than the microcomputers. They have higher processing speed and are costlier than the microcomputers. So the mini computers are costlier than the microcomputer and their processing speed is also more than the microcomputer. Several users can use the same at a time. So more than one people can use the mini computer at a time. Several users can use at the same time. So the mini computers can use several users at the same time. They are used in banks, universities and big organizations. So the mini computers are used in the banks, universities and in big organizations. Example for mini computers are PDP-8 and VAX. These are the two examples for the mini computers. Understood children? Microcomputer and mini computer. So this is a mini computer, right? Next we'll study about the mainframe computer. These computers are very powerful. So the mainframe computers are very powerful than micro and mini computers. Then they are big in size with large memory and high processing speed. So the mainframe computers size is also large and memory and high processing speed. They have a higher processing speed than that of the micro and mini computers. They are designed to tackle huge amount of data. So they can store the large amount of data in a single computer. The mainframe computers are very expensive and can be used in large business organizations, universities, scientific laboratories, air and railway tickets, reservation, then stock exchange market, etc. So mainframe computers are used in these all fields, that is business organization, universities, scientific laboratories, airline, railway ticket reservation and in the stock exchange market. So the example for the mainframe computers are IBM Z series, PDP-10 and the system Z10. So these are the examples for the mainframe computer. So this is the mainframe computer. This is the mainframe computer image children. Next, last one, that is supercomputer. Fourth computer is supercomputer. Supercomputers, so they are the most powerful computers with huge processing speed. So these supercomputers are powerful computers with huge processing speed. These computers are used for weather forecasting, space research and satellite controls. So where the supercomputers are used? The supercomputers are used for weather forecasting, space research and satellite control. Then example for the supercomputers are Cray-1, Cray-2, Param, Sunway Tachyon. So these are the examples for the supercomputer. So this Param is the India's first supercomputer and Sunway Tachyon is the world's fastest supercomputer children. You have to remember this one. So the Param is the India's first supercomputer and Sunway Tachyon is the world's fastest supercomputer. Got it? So supercomputer, what are the supercomputer? They are the most powerful computers with huge processing speed. These computers are used for weather forecasting and space research and satellite control. An example, Cray-1, Cray-2, Param and Sunway Tachyon. So these are the examples for the supercomputers. So this is a supercomputer. So what we have studied, children, in this chapter? So first we have studied about the computer languages. How many types of computer languages are there? Yes, there are 4 different types of computer languages are there. So what are those 4 types of computer languages? First one is a machine language, second one assembly language, third one high level language, and fourth one is the 4th generation language. We have studied all these 4 types of computer languages in detail. And what we have studied? Then later we studied about the types of computers. So how many types of computers are there? Yes, exactly, you are right. There are 4 different types of computers are there. So what are those 4 different types of computers? Microcomputer, mini computer, mainframe computer, and last one is a supercomputers. So these we have studied. All these 4 different types of computers we have studied in detail. Understood, children? That's it for the today's class. Let us meet in the next class with a new chapter. Until then, thank you. Bye, children.